Hello everyone, thank you for joining me today on Cooking and Baking with Samer. Today we're going to make another delicious dish, a Lebanese dish that's lubib zait, it's green beans and oil, literally translated. Today I'm going to show you how to prepare cooking for the dish, how to prepare the green beans, the garlic, the onions, the tomatoes from beginning to end. And let's get cooking. So now I'm going to show you what ingredients we need. What I have with me today is 2 pounds of green beans, fresh green beans, 6 tomatoes, about medium size. We'll talk a little bit more while I'm preparing about different varieties or different things that you can do. 2 medium sized onions, about 7 cloves of this size of garlic. We're going to use half a cup of olive oil and 3 teaspoons of salt. Now what I'm going to start preparing is the green beans. I like to prepare first the items that take the longest. And I like to use fresh green beans. You can use frozen green beans. That will be okay. Using canned, it'll change the taste a lot, and then it'll be a little bit saltier, so you have to use less salt. But really, I would not use the canned one. Um, for the fresh green beans, you have different choices out there. You can buy the pre-washed, some of them also called pre-trimmed, but even the pre-trimmed still come like the bags I bought still have ends to them. So really, they're not really pre-trimmed. And I'll show you what I do. But also, if you buy the ones that are fully green, not the pre-washed or pre-bagged, uh, you almost kind of might have to do them separately each and make sure they don't have any strings in them, because I don't know, I try to buy good quality and things like this so they wouldn't be stringy. Because if the string is left in there, and some of the other green beans, it'll be hard to chew no matter how much you cook it. So here's what I do. I take a bunch of the green beans. I set them here on my cutting board, and I try to line them up. I know some of them are curved and things like this. So I go from one side with my knife and I kind of move them in together like this. And here we go. They're pretty much lined up right now. And I just trim the tip like this, just a little piece there. And then I turn them around. And then I do the same thing to the other side. I push them back and try to move some of the smaller ones forward. And here we go. I kind of trim the piece off the edges a little bit. And if you miss any, you'll see it later, trim it. It's okay. As you're used to while cooking with me, I show you exactly how things go, not just uh, things that happen behind the scenes. And if we make mistakes while we're cooking, we'll see how we fix it and make sure things turn out very tasty. What we need to cut the green beans is in a size about 1 inch to 1 1/4 inch. It's okay. I mean, you don't have to be precise and measure, but if we keep them in that size, it's good for the cooking time. And also, they cook evenly as well, as you all know. I already started uh, cutting a little bit before, but I didn't want to bore you with cutting the whole 2 pounds. But it does take about, I would say, 7, 8 minutes to cut the 2 pounds. And again, if you want to use just 1 pound, cut everything in half, except the tomatoes. You want to use 4, not 3 instead of 6. The onions, you would want use 1 instead of 2. And for the garlic, I would use 4 cloves and not like 3.5, or right around the size. And I'll show you the different cloves shortly that I'm using. Many different sizes. I just try to average them out to that 7 of those kind of medium sized ones. Look at those beautiful green beans. Now what I'm going to do is cut up our garlic into very, very tiny pieces. It's very important. I know you could smush them and put them in there, but the taste will not be the same. To cut them into small pieces, the reason is when you're eating the green beans, every bite will have the flavor, but it will not be garlicky. So let me show you. Here's one example of what I do. Uh, here's the whole clove. You gotta be careful. So I'm using a smaller knife. I cut it through like this. And if it was very big, very thick, I would go multiple times. But then I'm also going to go very thin uh, slices in the other direction. And there we go. And obviously the garlic was peeled. So here's what I'm going to do is just cut them like this. See how they're very, very tiny, very small pieces. And if you get a bigger one, just cut it. It's okay. And I'm going to do that with all of them. And I'm also right now going to show you, let's say if you had a small one, what would you do? I'm going to keep cutting this one until I get to the end, because you're going to get to an area where, okay, maybe you didn't trim it as much, or you couldn't get to it, or worried not to cut your finger or something like that. So you could always just go like this and to make them into the smaller pieces. There, see how they are? And here's a small one. So I don't need to really go sideways on it. I'll just maybe do 3. I'll do a 4th one. And again, I'm trimming them the same way, cutting it the same way. Then at the end, I have a little piece. There we go. And that's how you do the garlic. What I didn't do is I'm going to show you also how I peel the garlics. And since I forgot to show you that, I'm going to right now get one and show you. Okay, here's a small one. It's not very big, medium size. A trick that I've learned from one of my friends is, I know you could take the knife. Smushing it is going to get rid of the whole process of us cutting it, so we really don't want to do that. Take it and just twist it like this. Look. I have a bag here, so it's not, I'm not just throwing things in the sink. And on the top, actually, it's going to be stuck, so I take the little knife, trim it with my hand like this, and voila, look. It's peeled. And I'm going to use it in here. It's okay. It won't hurt. Now, I'm going to cut up the onions. The onions really need them about, I would say about an inch and a quarter, inch and a half in size. You can use whichever method you prefer to get to that, but let me show you what I do. Obviously, we have to peel the onion and get the outside out of the way, since we can't eat the peel. Cooking, you want to enjoy it, have fun with it. It's you know, it's an art. I'm going to cut it this way, diagonally, and then I'm going to cut just in half, and now I'm going to go By the way, they need to be thin. I don't know if you could see the how thin I have them. You don't want them too thick. Then when I put them in the when I'm sautéing them, then I'll separate them. So see, they're not going to all be the same size. Obviously, with onions, look, there's different sizes. It's not going to affect the cooking method or the in any way. And when we saute them, we also saute them to a translucent color. You'll see. But as I mentioned before, you saw I did the green beans and I did the garlic because it also takes time. Now I'm doing the onions, which kind of take the least time. And after that, I'll also show you how I do the tomatoes. Even though the tomatoes take a little bit of time, but we can get them ready while other items are sauteing. And now we're going to start sauteing the onions. And I already have this pot preheated. You could, like, if you're doing 1 pound, obviously you don't need something this high or this tall, or if it's wider, it's fine. Uh, we're going to put half a cup of olive oil in here, and I'll be very precise, as you could see. There we go. Needs about another tablespoon. There, we have about half a cup of olive oil in there. And I'm going to wait for the oil to heat up for a little bit here. But look at these beautiful onions here. I know that you'll get some tears possibly if the onions are a little strong. But hey, it's okay. We're tough. We can handle it. Hey, good. The oil warmed up quickly. So be careful putting the onions in there so you don't splash yourself. Don't just like dump them at the beginning because the oil is warm and the onions still have a little bit of moisture, so it will splatter. So be careful there. Look what I'm doing. See those onions that are like from when we cut them, they're stuck together. Just tap them on the top like this. And again, as I saw, they're as I said, they're not really uniform. They're just different sizes, which is okay here. And see, I'm mixing them with the oil. And you want to saute them on medium heat uh, until they become translucent. Oh, this smells so good. It's so nice. It's wonderful. You know, you might wonder, where did I get this recipe? I've had this recipe since April 12th of 1987. My marhum, my blessed late father, wrote it by hand for me. He gave me a bunch of recipes uh, that I laminated the notebook that he kind of a personal notebook with all handwritten recipes in Arabic just from him. Uh, so now I'm trying to have others that enjoy cooking at home, enjoy feeding their families with very tasty dishes to inspire them to do the same thing and basically just have fun and enjoy cooking. And they'll probably take about at least 5 minutes. You know, you just gotta keep an eye on them and every minute or two stir them up. Now I'm going to prepare the tomatoes. With the tomatoes, we need to peel them. You can use any method you like. You can even use a potato peeler to peel them. You can use a knife to just peel them. But one of the easiest ways to peel them is to really like dip them into hot boiling water, and they'll peel very quickly. And then we're going to cut them, and I'll show you how I cut them into like I don't know, a piece this big. So uh, what I have over here, maybe it's about 3.5 cups of water that's very hot and boiling. So I'm just scorching the tomatoes from the top, and I put them in there. Again, the purpose is mainly to peel them, and don't worry if if one of them became uh, over boiled, under boiled, don't worry, it's not going to hurt. And the tomatoes, again, also, uh, you would think, okay, how firm or how much squishy they need to be, or things like this. It's not too important. I like them in the middle, not too firm, but not too smushy. But if that's all I had, like this one is a little bit more ripe than the other ones, it's okay. It's not going to hurt. So they're in there, I would say, I'll put them in there for a minute, minute and a half, and peel them real quick. In the meantime, my onions are still uh, sauteing here. They're almost getting to the translucent color, not yet. So as you can see, a little bit translucent. Uh, we can, and even you could see some of them kind of browned up a little bit, which is excellent. And so don't be worried, don't be scared, and again, adjust your temperature depending on your oven and stove. Um, if your stove is too high, too low, adjust the temperature as you see. I mean, right now, I know I do it on medium heat. I had to go a little bit lower. This is a bigger burner, a little stronger. And don't be afraid to adjust as you see fit while you're cooking. I'm also going to adjust it a little more right now because I'm going to also put the garlic in there. And really, the tomatoes are ready. I'm going to also turn the stove off from under the tomatoes. Uh, Now I'm going to bring the garlic over and put them in here. Maybe I should have put them into a little bowl instead of taking them over, but hey, it's all right. We're enjoying what we're doing, and we don't have to be, you know, doing it precisely in one way or the other. Now I'm just mixing them up. Really, this is only going to be about 2 minutes maximum for the garlic as well. I mean, for the garlic. So uh, here we go. Now I'm going to bring my tomatoes over here. I'm going to flip my board because on this side, the liquid that will come out from the tomatoes won't go all over the counter. And here we go. I'm gonna turn cold water on so we're not having big hot water going right into the sink. That's another also, the hot water will not hurt the pipes, but really with the disposal, really hot water could melt that rubber cover on the garbage disposal. So that's why I kind of put in a little bit of cold water at the same time. So see, look, the tomatoes right by themselves. They peeled so quickly, but they're very hot. So I'm gonna get uh, a little uh, spatula from here. I'll use this one. Okay. They're a little too hot. so be careful. There we go. Nice. I took a quick peek at the garlic. It's looking good. We'll still need another minute. So there. Look at them peel, so nice. I'm thinking of putting them real quickly also in a little bit of cold water. They're just so hot right now. It won't hurt them a bit. It won't do anything to them. It's just then I don't have to wait. I don't have to wait for them to cool down to cut them. So there we go. Very nice. Excellent, excellent. See, look at them. The method of, to be honest with you, the method of how you enjoy cooking peeling the tomatoes, I like to take the core out first. Here, I'll cut it, it'll be easier. See how they're smushy? This one's, maybe they were in there a little bit. I also like to take out this white core here. They don't cook as well. Then don't worry about all these juices. And look how I'm cutting it into like a piece about this big. And yes, they were in there maybe an extra minute than they could have been, but I don't mind. I don't mind all this juice. I'm going to put it in the pot with the tomatoes and everything. Okay. I'm going to right now actually stop for a second working on the tomatoes, and I'm going to put the green beans. See this one here? I'm going to slice it like this. I think the other one was the ripe one. Want to see how I made it easy? I sliced it sideways, slice it this, and boom, there they are. Let me quickly rinse my hand because the garlic, I can smell it so good. It's ready. And now I'm going to put the green beans in there to also saute them and wait until you'll see how the color will change. They'll even become greener once they are they start. The color will change. You'll know it's time to start adding the tomatoes in there and start the cooking process. Oh, look at that here, and you see I'm just mixing them all in there, mixing the onions in there with them. Very beautiful. Look at the onions and the green beans in there together. Yeah, keep the heat on medium to medium low, and this process will take probably about 5 minutes. Hope you are enjoying cooking with me today. I appreciate you being with me here. I know this is as I said, this is the long version. I'll also post a shorter version for you, but I wanted to really show you how I like to show you really how long it takes to prepare certain dishes and not just thinking, oh, it looks like they got it done in 5 minutes here, and why is it taking me a half hour to get ready? It's reality. That's how what happens when we're cooking and getting ready and getting the things ready here. Oh, this is beautiful. This is really nice. Very nice. Just gonna wash my hands real quick again. We go over there and flip the green beans. There we go. I could see some of them is already changing color a little bit. Very nice. So here we go. It's really good. Well, you should be here smelling the onions and the garlic and how the green beans are sautéing. As you also see, really, most of the time when I cook, I try. This is something that also will help you. Don't just, especially dishes you're making that require a lot of utensils or a lot of uh, dishes to prepare. Uh, this is my advice to you. Uh, Clean while you're cooking. Then you're done cooking, you'll find a couple items just to clean up. And you don't have to worry about, I mean, it has happened to me before. Oh, I'm cooking, I'm getting things ready and I'm done. It's like, oh, now I have to clean up 10 different utensils and 10 different, containers. And it's like, whoa. But and look how I'm taking out the juices here. I know I could have flipped the board and done all that. It just this is a bigger board. If it was an itty bitty one, I would have done that probably. And I think the green beans are calling me over there to come and check on them. Hold on. And I also keep a towel to dry my hands, when I'm cooking. So when I'm done, all I have to do is just, you can put it in the laundry and put a clean one up. Here we go. Very, very nice. Look how the green beans became a brighter, deeper green color. It's a little different than when they were raw. And again, like I mentioned earlier, if we wanted to use the frozen green beans because they're pre-cut, a little less work, it's okay. But I would recommend try to a little defrost them. But the thing is, even when they're frozen and they're defrosting in here, the water that could come out from them will not hurt the dish either. So don't worry about that. Uh, if you want to first try this dish uh, with the frozen green beans, because it's a little easier, a little less work. There, I put the salt in there. Now I'm mixing it good. Soon I'm going to add the tomatoes and all those juices from the tomatoes that are going to be in here. And by the way, the green beans, a lot of the tomato based dishes, you'll find the next day they taste like 3 times better, 4 times better than when you had them the first day. It's just because all the tomato juices, all the garlic, the onions are going to be inside, marinating those green beans. Um, Even with meat dishes, it's really the same way. So I'm going to be adding our 6 tomatoes in here. Oh, this is nice. And now I'm going to turn up the heat to a little bit between medium high, because I won't cover them until I see a little bit of a boil on them. So once I see a little bit of a boil, which could take just like 3 minutes really, or less, depending, uh, then I'll cover them and put them on low heat, not medium, but low, and to cook them we're going to cook them for 45 minutes on the low heat. And again, I used fresh tomatoes. I know you could use canned, but it's not the same. It's not, definitely will not taste the same. Uh, it's worth the time spending on doing, peeling and cutting the tomatoes. Again, I'm putting it to low, a little bit more than low. I'm putting this one, uh, and I'm going to cover them and set my timer for 45 minutes, and then we can check on them after when the timer goes off. We'll have a little taste to see. We'll check the doneness of the green beans. Uh, it's odd how the green beans sometimes from different manufacturers or different types, they would might take them a little bit longer. So that's why you check them. It's okay. I did not use the French thin green beans. I used, as you saw, the kind of, I don't know if I want to call them regular size, the general type of green beans. These aren't the little thin ones. You could use them if that's all you have, but I think these will come out better for this purpose. Usually this little French ones, a lot of times you saute them with like garlic and things like that, and or to have more sauteed the green beans with those. All right, we'll come back after 45 minutes, and we'll see how our green beans are doing. It's been 45 minutes. Our green beans should be ready. Let's take a look. And again, they've been on a little bit more than low for the past 45 minutes. Oh, look at them. We're going to taste for a couple things. By the way, also, I want to mention, if you like to add a little pepper at the beginning, you could. I didn't. Most of the time I don't, but if some people like, and a little pepper, we're talking like a quarter teaspoon, nothing big for the tasting. So what I'm going to do is just in a little dish here, I'm going to take the two things I'm going to taste for is salt and the doneness of the green beans. So here I'm putting some of the juices. Oh, those are good. And then I'm going to show you how we eat and what we use eating the green beans. Uh, this type of green beans. Now, other than how I'm going to show you to eat, you could also eat it with rice if you'd like. And I'm going to plan to make a session on different ways to cook rice and how you could put different things with it to give it a little bit more flavor. I'm not talking about spices or herbs. I'm talking about some things that the from the Middle East or Lebanese like to add in there. But we'll have a different session on that. So I want to just wait for them to cool off a little bit. Let's see here. No salt, no salt needed. The green beans have that little crunch, but not the raw type or anything. They're very well done. They're excellent. They don't need any more time for cooking. Mm. And as I mentioned also, um, if you cook it one day, you have it the next day, it's like, it tastes so much even better today. It's because everything is marinated in there. So, mm, it's like I don't want to stop eating. It's so good. But let me show you how we eat it. Usually, you would put it in a bowl. You can use a bowl like this, or you can use a plate that has a little bit deeper because it has juices in there. It doesn't, or so you don't want too flat of a plate if you're going to use it in a plate. Because I want to show you how what we use to eat it. We like to use the pita bread, this type of pita bread. You can find it at a lot of your local Middle Eastern stores or international stores. It's the thinner kind. It's thinner. It's like reddish, brownish on one side, more whitish on the other. This is the type that we like to use to eat with. If you use there are some pita breads that sometimes I find like at our local grocery stores that are like just this big, but they're really thick. They're just I feel just too much bread in there. So here, let's break bread, and let me show you how. Let me put some green beans in the little bowl and show you really. There are so many ways you could choose to really eat, uh, but if you want to see the traditional way, we eat with our hands. Now, if that's difficult or it's too hot, I'm turning the stove off. But they're excellent. If it's too difficult or you think it's maybe you're getting your hands dirty, it's okay. You can eat with a spoon. And oh, I should have done it here. Okay, I cut a piece this big. I'll do another one here. So here I'm cutting a piece like this big, but I'm peeling them apart. I'm only going to use one side. And see, I'm going to go take some with my hand like that. Mmm. Mm. Excellent. They're excellent. Well, don't forget to subscribe, like, give me any opinions you might have, anything you might like different, or you might think for me to try one way or the other. Any dishes you'd like me to try and cook for you and experiment for you as well, and try different things to make them good for you. Again, thank you for joining me today for cooking and baking with Samer. You take care. Bye bye.